Hey there. How are you today? My name is Dana Demara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is my first recording since the beginning of June because I was away in Italy and quite frankly enjoying myself and just didn't make the time to record anything. So I just want to say thank you for giving me that space and grace during that time away. Wow, I'm actually having a bit of a hard time recording this today for many reasons, but mainly because of all of just the upheaval that's going on in our nation right now. And I could do a whole podcast on that, but I'm not going to. I do want to talk about the new moon because I think it's important. And I don't want to, in any way, shape, or form, kind of skirt around the issue of just so many injustices happening right now. So I don't want this new moon recording to be something that is glossed over of what we're witnessing. But when I looked at the transits and everything that's coming up, it really can bring us to a place of some optimism potentially, because I have my own thoughts around everything that's happening. And quite frankly, I was about ready to get back on a plane to Italy, but I'm here and I'm present and I'm excited about the new moon. So I want you to be, you don't have to be excited, but maybe take a breath, ground in, and take a listen, because it is really a beautiful time of something potentially new coming through. And I'll just get right with it. Okay, June 28th, new moon in Cancer. June 28th in the Americas, June 29th anywhere else in the world. And it happens on June 28th at 7:53 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, and this is a new moon. So remember, new moons are always about new beginnings. Always. They're always about new beginnings. They're always about, hitting the reset button. This one in particular comes just a week after the solstice, which is also about a new beginning. And again, this was the first time in I don't know how many years that I didn't do anything in particular for the solstice as far as media recordings, but it has been a very powerful time. And one thing I want to say is, and this goes with no matter what's going on in the astrology, but especially right now, because we are entering into this beautiful portal of new energy, even though it doesn't feel like it, is as human beings, we have a tendency, myself included, to kind of fall into the energy of everyone else around us and allow the noise and the chaos and all of these things to really affect how we're feeling and how we're functioning. When I start to feel that way, the first thing I do is ground my feet in, I take a big deep breath, and then I remember that there is this celestial orchestration happening in the multiverse that I have absolutely nothing to deal with. I can't do anything about it, but it's affecting me in every way. And so I try to bring myself to that space. And with this new moon, this is really bringing us to a portal of being a little bit more present. And so I say that with such grace, because I want you to not so much ignore everything that's going on in our nation, because that's bypassing, but don't allow yourself to get too super hyper snagged. Like, allow yourself to feel all the feels and be present with it. Let go of attachments that maybe aren't serving you, and allow yourself to turn your focus inward and ask yourself, like, what is it that I really want right now in this life? Like, if you could set the table of your life, what would the table look like? What would the tablecloth look like? Do you have placemats? What kind of plates do you have? What's the environment? Like, get super clear about what it is that you desire. And eventually what will happen is the things that are really distracting you will start to fall away. They won't even be part of your existence. And these issues that we're dealing with right now in our nation in particular, which is just so deep and so old, the ones that are really important for your soul's journey will come to the top, and you will be able to work with them instead of getting caught up in, like, you know, what course of your life is coming up first and second and last. So I want you to think about, you know, if you could just kind of go and start afresh in your life in certain aspects, or maybe all of them, you know, what would it look like? And this is really setting an attunement from now until we have the solstice in December. So think about this as like a 6-month portal. Cancer is the crab. Cancer is all about this sweet, protective, hard shell, and then this squishy, sensitive, loving energy on the inside. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So this is about nurturing, sustenance, compassion, this really strong, divine, feminine energy. And I say that with such deep compassion, again, for our nation, because this is activating the mother energy in our hearts, whether we are a mother, whether we are a steward of the land, whether we are children, whether we are women or men or boys or girls. This idea is to get into the heart space and get into the nourishment of the heart and the mother energy, the mama energy. So this energy also governs our home, and not just like the home of where we live, but maybe our environment, you know, how we feel at home, our ancestry, our lineage. This energy governs shifts in those areas, and in that space it's going to require compassion and empathy and gratitude. And Cancer, the sign of Cancer, is extremely sensitive. They're so sensitive. That's why they have that outer shell, to protect themselves from, you know, not feeling everybody's stuff, right? So, and everyone has Cancer in their chart somewhere. You know, you may not have any planets in the sign of Cancer, but Cancer falls in a certain house on your chart, which means there's a sensitivity somewhere in your chart, right? So everybody feels it. Everybody feels it in some way. You know, be compassionate, be loving, notice the things that are in your life that truly, truly matter to you, and let all of the other stuff go. You know, the other thing with Cancer, the sign of Cancer, is that it's very intuitive, because Cancer has that outer shell and gives itself this time to go inward and connect to the moon and the, you know, the multiverse, if you will. There is an energy that is really powerfully intuitive and will guide Cancer individuals. And with this new moon, it's asking all of us to allow ourselves to feel, to be sensitive, to not just feel, but to truly feel from our hearts this sense of deep connection to the other. You know, I think that our society has gotten away from that, and we hide behind screens, and we, you know, claim to be busy, and we don't take our time when we're having a meal. You know, I just spent 3 weeks in Italy, and one of the things I loved so much was how the Italians just dragged out a meal and everybody just connected, and no one had their phones on the table. And this idea of feeling is part of why we're here as humans. It's why we agreed to incarnate, was to feel. And so, you know, with this new moon, it's asking us to feel a little bit deeper. It really is asking us to connect with our heart's desires and that mother energy and our intuition, and instead of getting caught up, because if you get caught up and what's going on in the world, and the anger and the rage and the, confusion and the frustration that is really being unearthed right now, because of so many reasons. You're going to miss the little messages that are coming through, and I don't want you to miss them, and I don't want to miss them. I don't want to miss them. So take time during this new moon to really tune into the subtle energies going on around you. Try to stay off your phone. I know the day after I got home, I was on my phone more than I wanted to be, and I felt myself getting so upset about like being back here, and I didn't want to feel that way, but I did. So, give yourself like time limits, a little bit of space, because we have a few aspects to this new moon that's really powerful, and I don't want you to miss it. And again, I don't want to miss it either. The new moon is square Jupiter. I'm going to actually share my screen with you. All right, I'm going to put on my glasses too. This tends to get small for me. All right, let me make this bigger for me. I don't know if you see it bigger. Okay, so new moon Cancer, June 28th, 7:53 p.m., San Diego, California. That's Pacific Standard Time. So you'll see here, look at this, 7th house, the moon and the sun are at 7 degrees Cancer. So it's 777. And the thing with this, one of the things with this new moon is that the aspects, just because the new moon happens in a certain sign, yes, it has the adaptability and the essence of the sign that it's in, but the thing that makes every single new moon unique is the aspects that the moon and the sun and the energies that are kind of coagulating here, percolating around this turn here. So one of the first things that's going on is actually squaring Jupiter. So this red line right here, look at that exact square, Jupiter in Aries. And Jupiter expands everything that it touches, right? So Jupiter every planet has two sides to it. One is, a dark and a light. And one of the things about Jupiter is that it expands, it focuses on, expanding our perspective, our knowledge, wisdom, exploration, really wanting to know more and understand more. Seeing things from a higher perspective is always a wonderful way to be. But the other side of the coin of Jupiter is that Jupiter can also exaggerate. So you want to be mindful that, as we move into this new moon, and Jupiter's in Aries, which is the first sign of the Zodiac wheel, this completely pulls in new energy of not only the new moon, but also the solstice. And I would just invite you to, remember that your thoughts expand and everything that you focus on expands. So be in a place of acknowledging optimistic situations, not bypassing, but, lovely moments in time, and feeling a sense of wonderment with the world, and noticing little things like maybe a sunset or a moon rise or something, anything that will bring you to a place of a hopeful exploration. This Cancer new moon is, because it's offering up a heightened sensitivity, it's going to help you determine like where you can turn your focus and in a way that is more in alignment with your heart. Right? So you're going to feel things a little bit deeper. You're going to say to yourself, this doesn't feel good. I'm not going to engage in this right now in this moment in time. I'm going to turn my direction over here where I feel good, and think of those moments as plugging in, like I'm plugging in to these moments in time where I feel good, and I'm going to just fill my cup, because I can tell you that, this whole Roe versus Wade overturning. It's not a battle that's going to get fixed in a day or a week or even a month or maybe even a year. So conserve your energy and focus on what makes you feel good, so that you can feel sustained and nurtured and really aware of how you're feeling. I'm going to share my screen again. The other thing that's happening is Neptune is going to station retrograde, and it's going to station retrograde pretty much just before or just after the Cancer new moon. And so when Neptune, when Neptune goes into retrograde, it gives us this energy that is not only a deep exploration, but it goes into a deeper insight. So we start to explore maybe our perspective, our ideas, our ancestry, why we do what we do. And it's going to not only give you some answers, but it's going to dive a little bit deeper into the whys. And, just know that Neptune is also the planet of spirituality, of illusion, of higher truth. It's activated with this new moon. And so, watch just after the new moon, the following days after, for maybe some deeper insights, maybe some higher truths, maybe some more clarity around something that you have been trying to figure out or trying to understand. And really ask yourself, ask in your prayers and your meditation for that sense of clarity, because there's a lot of noise on the planet right now. There's a lot of noise in the United States. There's a lot of separation. There's a lot of triggering. There's a lot of, there's just a lot of noise. And so give yourself some time, some energy, and some effort to just be quiet, and allow Neptune to kind of do its work. With this new moon, we'll have Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto all in retrograde. So those are some pretty big power players. So just, give yourself some time to be quiet. A couple other things that I think are important to note is that Mars is right here. Mars is actually squaring Pluto, and Mars is the initiator. Mars likes to, push you forward into whatever is next. Mars is masculine, Venus is feminine. So when Mars comes into a square with Pluto is power, Pluto is empowerment, Pluto is leadership. So this gives you an energy that will has the potential to catapult you into achieving your goals, whatever you're desiring to be or do or contribute to the world. And it can also create like an inner tension. So make sure that you're channeling that Mars energy into something that's creative, something that it will support, a positive outcome. This energy with Mars and Pluto needs an outlet. It needs to disperse. So if you're feeling that, I would say get out and do something. Mars is also sextiling Saturn. So here's Mars. And here's Saturn over here. It's just within 1 degree. With Mars sextiling Saturn, it gives you the opportunity to kind of stay out of distraction. It can offer an energy that's calming, that is, gives you the sense of like, the wavelength of your mind is a little calmer instead of like scattered up and down. It'll allow you to get things done in a way that could potentially be in the flow, because Saturn is all about, task oriented, and, it's the Lord of karma. And so Mars is making a sweet aspect to Saturn. And then a couple more sextiles, which is pretty interesting. Venus is sextiling Jupiter. So here's Jupiter, and then Venus is just over here. It's an exact sextile, which is beautiful. This again echoes the degree of the new moon. So you also have Venus at 7 degrees. So this is about love and generosity and abundance and what you value and how you love. And, you know, there's a sense of generosity and a sense of happiness and desire. And it really can offer you an opportunity to remember that life is beautiful. And, you know, surround yourself with things that make you happy. Be grateful. You know, if you don't already keep a gratitude journal, get with the program. I went out as soon as I got home from Italy, and I went to my favorite shop here in Encinitas. It's called Soulscapes. It's on Highway 101. I'll just do a little shout out for them because they are just lovely. And I just got a bunch of incense, and I was like, I want to surround myself with my incense smell and my sage and my Palo Santo and my essential oils. I just felt like if I can, you know, use that sense of scent to calm the nervous system, I'm just going to feel a lot better. It makes me happy. Flowers make me happy. My garden makes me so happy. So do the things that create a sense of joy for you. And I know, again, remember I put the disclaimer at the very beginning, and I am not bypassing what is going on in the world right now. I refuse to do that. I won't do it, but I also won't allow myself to get sucked in so that then I'm enmeshed with everybody else's projections. Give yourself some time, some space, some energy to tune out and do what makes you feel good. Okay. I'm going to share my screen one more time here. I think I have a couple more. Mercury is sextiling Chiron, which Chiron is kind of a big deal. Chiron's been sitting here in Aries for quite some time, and it's going to sit there till like 2026, which for those of us who have Chiron in Aries, you have Chiron in Aries if you were born any time between 1968 and 1977, which means you're going through your Chiron return. Okay. And so Mercury, here's Mercury, and it's not making an exact sextile, but it's within 2 degrees of Chiron. Chiron is the healer. Mercury is day-to-day communication, lower mind. So this gives you voice. It gives you support in how to say what you mean, say how you feel, in order to heal a situation. So sometimes when Mercury isn't, you know, cooperating, we tend to not know what to say, or we get a little confused, or we speak too fast, or we react. But this, with Mercury sextiling Chiron, you have all the support you need, and speaking slowly, speaking in a way that is kind and loving and compassionate, you know, just allow yourself some space and time. Again, tune into that mother energy, that mama energy, tune into the sense of grace and happiness and joy. Find the things that make you happy. And again, plug in, like just, I'm going to plug in because this makes me happy. Cancer represents the past. Okay, I want to say this. I'm going to stop share for a moment. Cancer represents the past, and this new moon is really shaking up the past. You know, I said this in class the other day. I said, you know, just before like a big change happens, or like when you're on the precipice of something new, all of the old shit that's at the bottom, the sediment, is going to come up. And how we deal with that will then dictate what happens in the next moment. So we're in what I believe to be a huge transitional time on our planet. It's no mistake that all these things are happening in our nation in particular. You know, we have some big shifts happening, and it's because the old paradigm is dying. It no longer works. And a lot of us know that it no longer works, but there's a lot of other lovely human souls in earth suits that don't understand that. And one thing I want to say, I talked about this in class this week. It's been my motto since I got home. While I was away, I watched Gladiator with my daughter because we went to the Coliseum, and I was like, we have to watch Gladiator so you can see what this looked like. And of course she was like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? So you can kind of put a vision to what it could have looked like. Anyways, Proximo, in one of his quotes, which I love, he says to Maximus something to the effect of, remember that we mortals are nothing but shadows and dust. We mortals are nothing but shadows and dust. And everything outside of that is an illusion. So we've created this, what we call in yoga, the lila, the play. And a huge part of it is an illusion made up in our minds. Now, before you tune out, just do yourself a favor and play with that idea a little bit. Like, what if you could just go click and turn it off and then unplug from that outside energy and just tap into your intuition? Like, what's real in here in the third eye? What's real in the heart? What's real in the throat for you? What's real in your body? What if you could just listen to your intuition and block every single thing out? There's nothing that we are going to do in the next 5 days before the new moon that's going to change what is going on with our lawmakers. Nothing. So do whatever you need to do, but understand that everything in your life shows up based on the vibration that's living within you. Okay, so whatever this vibration is that's living within you, it is attracting everything to you. It's like, so if you feel the need to go out and march and be angry and do the thing, oh my God, go do it. Go do it. Because if that makes you feel like you're contributing, yes. And then come home, sage yourself, root into the ground, get your feet into the earth, shake off whatever energy you pulled in, and then sit in that meditation pose. Okay? Like, truly embody what you desire to see in the world. You know, don't tune into the doom and the gloom and the, oh my God, this is terrible. This, my mom used to say, this world's going to hell in a handbasket, you know. It's just, some days I'm like, Mom, you're so right. We're going to hell in a handbasket, you know. But don't align with that collective. Don't align with the doom and the gloom. Allow yourself to see the opportunities. And I close my eyes when I say that. See the opportunities that are coming through right now. Because if you align with the doom and the gloom and the blah, 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 you're going to miss it. You're going to miss the boat. And I don't want you to do that. I really don't. And I don't want to do it. I want to be like awake to what's next. So, you know, I don't eat meat or cheese or gluten. And guess what? In Italy, I was so happy. I was eating meat and cheese and bread. And I was like, oh my God, I just feel so good. You know, do what makes you feel happy. Elevate your vibration so that you can be of service. And whatever that looks like, do the thing and then honor that internal cancer within you. You know, get out of your shell, do whatever you need to do, and then whoop, come back in. Tap back in. Focus on the now, because we're energetically creating new systems in our entire world. And I want nothing more than for all of us to come from a place that is super rooted and grounded in love and not in projection and not in the past, because I feel like we're repeating the past. But that could be my illusion too. So give yourself some time with this new moon and really, truly be in a place of pausing, acknowledging, finding compassion and using your intuition. Just so, you know, we're here. It's like a blink of an eye, you know. I know it seems like a long time, you know, however many years you've been on this planet, but it's a blink of an eye. It's a blink of an eye. So anyways, happy new moon in Cancer. And if you want more information about me or how to read your chart or anything like that, you're going to go to myastrocast.com. You're going to put in your little email, and you'll start receiving some emails from me, just how to read your chart, and you know, how to look at where's your sun, where's your moon, where's your rising sign, why are they important, questions like that. And hopefully it helps you to understand the bigger picture. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be back and be here and present in my sweet little office and my sweet little home in Cardiff. And I want to say thank you to everybody who came to class these last 2 days. It was so lovely to see you. And if you're watching this before Sunday night, I'm doing a sound bath on Sunday night at Alila. So if you want to come, I'd love to have you. Just reach out to me at dina@dinademara.com, and I will send you all the info. I hope you're having a great day. And again, thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Mwah. Namaste. Thank you.